Present.
Right here.
Is your mic on?
Alder Leanne Stokes here.
Perfect. It's like it wasn't picking it up, but now it is.
Okay, next item is consideration and action on minutes from the previous meeting. I look back, the previous meeting was July 5th. So we haven't had one for a little while.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from our previous meeting.
And I will second that.
All those in favor, please say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass that agenda. And number 3 is public input. If there's anyone in the council that would like to speak to the council, please come forward, give your name and address, and your time limit is 3 minutes. This is the first call for public input. Second call for public input. Third and final call for public input. The public input section is now closed. Consideration and possible action on the following items. The number 4 is the 2023 general fund financials. Would like to have Sabrina give that information to us.
All right, thank you, Chair. So in your packets tonight, starting on page 1 is the general fund financials. If you go to page 4, that starts the budget report for the general fund. This report is through August 31st of 2023. If I draw your attention to page 6 of your packet, that will show us that we have 6.05% remaining to hit our budgeted revenues. Last year at this time, we were at 8.5%, so slightly ahead of where we were at last year. In regards to expenses, if I can draw your attention to page, I believe it's 18. On page 18, this will give us our total expenses through August 31st of 2023. As you can see, we have 36.99% remaining of our budgeted expenses. As of August 31st of 2023, we were at 40.07. So pretty much right on track with that. Any questions on the general fund financials? A couple revenues that will still be coming in. I talked about this a little bit at the last meeting, but we will have some more state payments coming through. That's our state aid for our roads and connecting streets. Those payments will still come, as well as the shared revenue from the state. If you're trying to follow all along, I'm on page 4. Also still to come for this year is on page 5, our fire protection service. That's account that ends in 46210. We will have our second payment from the town of Onalaska that'll likely come in January, but I'll record it back to December of 2023. But otherwise, everything else is pretty much straightforward.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the 2023 general fund financials.
I'll second.
Okay, motion made by Leanne Stokes, seconded by Sean McAllister. Any discussion?
Nice job, Sabrina. Thank you.
Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Number 5, the 2023 Omni Center financials. Sabrina?
Thank you, Chair. Also in your packet tonight is the Omni Center financials. Those start on page 20. Starting on page 20 is the balance sheet for the Omni Center. If I can draw your attention to page 23, that starts the budget report for the Omni Center, again, going through August 31st of 2023. Our revenues percent remaining to hit our budgeted revenues is 15.24%. Our total budgeted revenues that were remaining as of August 31st of 2022 was 18.45%. So we are actually ahead of where we were last year. I mentioned this at the Common Council meeting last month, but one thing that we wait till the end of the year to record is our liquor revenue. And I'm guessing that will be likely 60,000, if not more, for 2023. So I think we will for sure overcome our budget revenues for the Omni Center. In regards to expenses, on page 25, our expense total percent remaining is at 20.85%. Last year at this time, we were at 30.46. Some of that discrepancy is some of the branding work that was budgeted in 2022 was actually done in 2023. So we had predicted that would happen, and I do have a reserve set aside for that. So if at the end of the year we do go over budget, we do have that reserve set aside for that. So.
Okay, thank you. Motion to approve the 2023 Omni Center financials.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion by Leanne Stokes, seconded by Sean McAllister. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, motion passes. And that closes the finance section of the agenda, and we'll go on to personnel. Number 6, recruitment update from Human Resource Director Amy Franzen. Amy.
Good evening. As you can see before you, we've had a couple of hires in the month of September. Again, we're looking at the previous month. We have our city administrator on board and our human resources generalist, and then proceeding with a number of other recruitments in various stages. We have most recently posted our building supervisor at the Omni Center. That one is open until filled with the first review on October 13th. And then our assistant fire chief, we are accepting applications and through October 17th for that one. So again, another in the process of reviewing a number of other candidates for various positions.
Okay, thank you. And that doesn't need a motion, so we'll go on to number 7, policy update, policy 7.07 holiday and personal days. Amy, would you like to introduce that, or Dan, whoever?
So with the holiday policy, this is something that has been brought forward, and the addition of the day before and after Independence Day when it falls on a Tuesday or Thursday. So again, this doesn't happen very often. I think there was a poll that it's only been like a couple of times in very like 10, 20 years. So it doesn't happen very often, but it is one of those things that Amanda Jackson, our city attorney, had brought forth as an item for this policy, because we are pretty slow. There's a lot of people that take time off around that time of year. There are a lot of private businesses that are also closed for both the Monday and the Tuesday, or the Thursday and the Friday. So again, this was something that looking to add to the policy. The rest of the language in the policy is really just clean up and clarifying language. That's really the only new piece, I would say.
I make a motion to approve policy update, policy 7.07 holiday and personal days.
I'll second that.
Motion made by Leanne Stokes, seconded by Sean McAllister. Any discussion?
Yes, please.
Alternate.
Just 2 clarifications, if I could, please. And one is on the last bullet on the left column towards the top of the page, where it says day before / after Independence Day, when Independence Day falls on a Tuesday or Thursday. Should that not be on a Friday, Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday, or no?
When it falls on a Monday or a Friday, then City Hall would be closed for that one day. This is asking for, in addition to the Independence Day, that it also be closed for 2 days, basically, when it falls on a Tuesday or a Thursday. If that makes sense. Maybe it's just needing to be written a little bit different. I think the intent was if it falls midweek on a Tuesday or a Thursday, that City Hall would be closed on a Monday and a Tuesday, and then also the Thursday or the Friday, excuse me.
Right, so if Independence Day falls on a Thursday, they would have Thursday and Friday.
Correct,
And if it falls on a Friday, they would have Thursday or Friday.
correct.
No,
No, did I say that wrong?
I see. Cause that's the day before or after is confusing me, so.
What if it's a Monday?
Sorry, my mic's not on. If it's a Monday, we would not get Tuesday off. We would just get Monday off. But if it landed on Tuesday, like most people would take Monday off. And it's really hard to staff City Hall. So then that's kind of where it came into play. I know this happened in 2023. Did it land on a Thursday? Did we land on a Thursday this year? There's Amanda. I believe this year it landed on one of those days and there was like no one here. It was hard to staff City Hall because most people took the day off. So I think that was just the only intent, that if it would land on Tuesday or Thursday, we would take Monday off.
Or
and
Friday off.
Right. But if it lands on a Tuesday, or if it lands on a Monday, we just have Monday off. If
that-
it lands on a Wednesday, we just have Wednesday off or a
There's
Friday.
wording. It's a
Yeah,
wording. There's a
Yeah, I
better
mean, is that
wording.
clear to everyone else? Cause it's not clear to me. That's, but that, if it's just me, then I'll let it go. Yeah, I mean,
I'm listening to Dan Wick back here with some suggested language. So if that Tuesday and Thursday gets moved up to read day before and after Tuesday or Thursday, and then continue on with the sentence, would that make more sense? And just move the Tuesday and Thursday up to the beginning of the sentence or towards the beginning.
I get it in concept. I just cannot think of a way to say it.
I'd
I
say-
know what you're saying, but I can't think of how to
I mean,
verbalize
I'd just be
it.
more explicit. If it falls on a Thursday, that following, the next Friday is off. If it falls on a Tuesday, the preceding Monday is off. And leave it, and now it's very clear.
We were just trying to be like tight because there's not a lot of room there, but we can make it a lot clearer. I mean, that's easy enough to do.
I get the concept though. I know what you're trying to do. I just.
Yeah, I do now too, but I just don't see it when I'm reading it. That's
I'm
all. Yeah.
Miserable at trying to think of the right way to say that too.
And then the only other one, and this is happy glad stuff, is one, two, well, actually we'll go down below the bullets. You got one, the third paragraph below the bullets. Where it says whenever Christmas Eve. It says whenever Christmas Eve and Christmas Day fall on Saturday, should that be an or? Likewise, next sentence, whenever Christmas Eve and Christmas Day fall on a Sunday, wouldn't that be an or? Or am I missing something?
Both Christmas Eve and Christmas Day would be considered their own each holiday.
So if Christmas Eve is what I'm getting at.
I
falls
see
on
what
a
you're
s-
saying. They
Yeah,
can't
wouldn't
both
it be
fall on the
it would
same
be an
day.
or, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so instead, it's a happy glad, like it's not a big one, so both those ands should be changed to ors. So, I guess I'll make a motion to amend the, initial motion to, that, upon approval, the fourth bullet on the left column of bullets will be clarified and they make the happy glad on that one paragraph with the two ands becoming ors. So that's my motion for amendment.
I'll second that.
Okay.
That makes it, yeah.
So we need to,
Vote on the
right,
amendment.
we vote on the amendment and then we vote on, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so any further comment? Okay. So all those in favor of the amendment to that's
Did you like-
Stephen not just
Yeah. Clarify one
detailed,
bullet and then change two ands to an or, basically, yeah.
please say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Now we'll go back to the actual motion to
Approve, yeah.
approve the policy update, policy 7.07 holiday and personal days. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Cool.
Okay, number 8. Transition of event specialist to event coordinator with increased hours. Dan, would you like to introduce that?
Thank you, Alder Stokes. Thank you for, attached was the memo that we have in the agenda. This is kind of coming forward, as I stated in here, probably not the most ideal timing, but we had a resignation at the Omni Center. And we have somebody that's working with us right now. We have this position budgeted to go full-time next year, which we'll have that discussion, in the coming months. But my request is that we look at moving this person full-time after the council meeting, October 10th, with the payroll starting October 16th. So we have a new payroll. We don't, miss anything in the middle of the payroll. As I stated in the memo, we have 137 events just in the next 30 days. We are pushing staff to the limit and trying to give additional support is what we're looking at trying to have happen. I've identified in the graphs, on the back, what we initially had budgeted with the wage for the event specialist. I think the other thing that always comes up, this position is funded through the tourism and Omni Center account, so it does not hit the general fund, which I think a lot of times, people question. The hours worked kind of in the peach color, the remaining funds available with it. If we move this position to a grade 5, which the event coordinator was scored at by Baker Tilly, back when Baker Tilly did our salary compensation study, shows that through the 6 pay periods, we would have a balance of 11,000. So we'd still have money left in this year's budget not to affect. I also brought up the wages of our building supervisor, anticipating that the vacated salaries for up to 7 pay periods. We hope in the next 6 weeks, we can find somebody to come take that role. So it's not the full savings, but showing another savings of $74.96. I did not calculate the benefits because in looking at this year, next year, we have stuff budgeted for in the budget, but this year our building supervisor took family health insurance. And so if the individual, I know Amy was looking if the individual would be, have the ability to collect it day 1, usually we have a 60-day waiting period. Again, would not get to until January, but we already have it budgeted for the building supervisor to cover that. So that's really a wash in that scenario if the employee would elect to take that.
And then also, I had asked Amy to put this sheet together, and that does include benefits and if she could, and then there's also the idea that we're not posting this. So if Amy would like to go through that.
Yes, I think because this is a very unusual circumstance, I mean, typically, yes, we would post every, position that you're looking to have filled. With this particular situation, you've got an individual working part-time as a specialist, and then moving that position to full-time at the coordinator level because there is more elevated duties. It does justify the wage increase other than just the hours in this particular case. If that specialist position, part-time specialist position remains unfilled, now we have an employee that's displaced. And so this would be a matter of avoiding that type of situation that we don't see very often. But in that particular case, I would recommend and support that individual be placed in that coordinator position and not be displaced because of this circumstance. And this particular individual meets the qualifications, so I don't see any concern in that as well.
I think we need to have the motion.
I have a question of clarification though.
Yeah, can we do the motion and the second
Okay.
and then go to discussion?
All right.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve transition of event specialist to event coordinator with increased hours.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor, any discussion at that point? Yes.
So is the intent of this that this change would expire upon the hiring of a new building supervisor?
No, this position is budgeted in the 2024 budget. I guess if the council would come back and say we're not funding it in the 2024 budget, this position would be eliminated effective December 31st.
Okay.
Can I,
And well, can I do one clarification on that? Because I don't know, so then will you also be hiring a building supervisor in addition to the new event coordinator position?
Yes, we will.
Okay.
I was just gonna note that this position will be funded completely out of tourism in 2024.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay. Any further discussion? Sabrina?
Just kind of a clarification question, and I don't know if this is for Amanda, but does the motion need to be that they approve the transition of the specialist to event coordinator with increased hours and wage? Because her wage will change as
Yes.
well.
With payroll beginning on October 16th.
Yeah.
I'm
Should
sorry, what was?
we amend that?
I'm sorry, Stephen, what was the last part?
To make sure it's clear too that the payroll begins on October 16th.
Maybe Sabrina say that one more time and then.
Yeah, that the amendment would include the transition of the event specialist to event coordinator with increased hours and wages to begin on October 16th of 2023.
All right, I will make a motion to amend that this transition will include increased hours and wages with payroll to begin on October 16th. Does that meet what you
Second
need?
that.
Does that meet what you need?
Yep, and I'll second that.
Okay, any just further discussion?
Leanne, if I could just, I will not be in attendance at the common council meeting. So if anybody here or, other alders or anybody has questions, please reach out to me. I'm going to be at a conference out of state. So I will not be here for the FNP or excuse me, for the common council meeting.
And Justin is going to,
Justin will be here, Amanda, Rick, Amy, everybody, Sabrina is all versed in this. We have a number of people that should, if there's any questions that come up.
Thanks.
right, no further discussion. All those in favor of the amended transition of event specialist and event coordinator with increased hours and wages to begin on October 16th. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
You have to vote again on the original.
And the regular would be the same
Just the
wording
approval. It's just that this was more clear, but you do have to vote on the original as well.
and
'Cause
using.
we didn't
the-
pull the original and make a new one.
Right, and then make just the same wording without,
No, just, I would just say, all those in favor of supporting the original motion to approve this transition. Because it's already been clarified in the amendment.
okay,
Yeah.
the motion, why don't you just make the motion?
All right, so all those who are in favor of the original motion to approve the transition from event specialist to event coordinator
As clarified.
as clarified, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Your motion passes.
You were doing it so well, I didn't want to get in the middle of it. Okay, item number 9, adjournment.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Time is 6:37. Thank you.
The difference between is or